Cantos 64 to 66 of Book 3 of the Ramayana of Valmiki, translated by Ralph D. H. Griffith. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Om123. Canto 64, Rama's Lament. Reft of his love, the royal chief, weighed down beneath his whelming grief, desponding made his brother share his grievous burden of despair. Over his sinking bosom rolled the flood of sorrow uncontrolled, and as he wept and sighed, in mournful accents faint and slow, with words congenial to his woe, to Lakshman thus he cried, "Brother, I ween, beneath the sun of all mankind there lives not one so full of sin whose hand has done such coarse deeds as mine. For my sad heart with misery bleeds, as guardian of those evil deeds. Still greater woe to woe succeeds in never-ending line. A life of sin I freely chose, and from my past transgression flows a ceaseless flood of bitter woes my folly to repay. The fruit of sin has ripened fast, through many a sorrow have I passed, and now the crowning grief at last falls on my head today. From all my faithful friends I fled, my sire is numbered with the dead, my royal rank is forfeited, my mother far away. These woes on which I sadly think, feel, till it raves above the brink, the stream of grief in which I sink, the flood which naught can stay. Never, brother, never have I complained, though long by toil and trouble pained, without a murmur I sustained the woes of woodland life. But fiercer than the flames that rise, when crackling wood the food supplies, flashing aglow through evening skies, this sorrow for my wife. Some cruel fiend has seized the prey, and torn my trembling love away, while, as he bore her through the skies, she shrieked aloud with frantic cries, in tones of fear which, wild and shrill, retained their native sweetness still. Ah me, that breast so soft and sweet, for sandal's precious perfume meet, now all detained with dust and gore, shall meet my fond caress no more. That face, whose lips with tones so clear made pleasant music sweet to hear, with soft locks plaited over the brow, some giant's hand is on it now. It smiles not, as the dear light fails, when Rahu's jaw the moon assails. Ah, my true love, that shapely neck she loved with fairest chains to deck. The cruel demons rend and drain the lifeblood from each mangled vein. Ah, when the savage monsters came and dragged away the helpless dame, the lady of the long soft eye called like a lamb with piteous cry. Beneath this rock, O Lakshman, see, my peerless consort sat with me, and gently talked to thee the while, her sweet lips opening with a smile. Here is that fairest stream which she loved ever, bright Godavari. Never can the dame have passed this way, so far alone she would not stray. Nor has my darling, lotus-eyed, sought lilies by the river's side. For without me she never would go to streamlets where the wild flowers grow. Tell me not, brother, she has strayed to the dark forest's distant shade, where blooming boughs are gay and sweet, and bright birds love the cool retreat. Alone my love would never dare, my timid love to wander there. O Lord of day, whose eye sees all, we act and plan, on thee I call, for naught is hidden from thy sight, great witness thou of wrong and right. Where is she, lost or torn away? Dispel my torturing doubt and say, and O thou wind who blowest free, the worlds have not concealed from thee. List to my prayer, reveal one trace of her the glory of our race. Say, is she stolen hence or dead, or do her feet the forest tread? Thus with disordered senses faint, with woe he poured his sad complaint, and then a better way to teach, wise Lakshman spoke in seemly speech. Up, brother dear, thy grief subdue, with heart and soul thy search renew. When woes oppress and dangers tread, brave effort never was fruitless yet. He spoke, but Rama gave no heed to valiant Lakshman's prudent rede. With double force the flood of pain rushed over his yielding soul again. Canto 65. Rama's Wrath. With piteous voice the war subdued, thus Raghu's son his speech renewed. Thy steps, my brother, quickly turn to bright Godavari and learn if Sita to the stream have hied, to cull the lilies on its side. Obedient to the words he said, his brother to the river sped. The shelving banks he searched in vain, and then to Rama turned again. I searched, but found her not, he cried. I called aloud, but none replied. Where can the metal lady stray, whose sight would chase our cares away? I know not where, her steps untraced, roams Sita of the dainty waist. When Rama heard the words he spoke, again he sank beneath the stroke, and with a bosom anguish fraught, himself the lovely river sought. There standing on the shelving side, O Sita, where art thou? He cried. No spirit voice an answer gave, no murmur from the trembling wave of sweet Godavari declared the outrage which the fiend had dared. O speak, the pitying spirits cried, but yet the stream their prayer denied. Nor dared she, coldly mute, relate to the sad chief his darling's fate. Of Ravan's awful form she taught, and the dire deed his arm had wrought, and still withheld by fear dismayed the tale for which the mourner prayed. When hope was none his heart to cheer, that the bright stream his cry would hear, while sorrow for his darling tore his longing soul, he spake once more. Though I have sought with tears and sighs, Godavari no word replies. O say, what answer can I frame to Janak, father of my dame? Or how before her mother stand, leading no Sita by the hand? Where is my loyal love who went forth with her lord to banishment? Her fate to me she nobly held, though from my realm and home expelled. A hermit nursed on woodland fair, she followed still and soothed my care. Of all my friends am I bereft, nor is my faithful consort left. How slowly will the long nights creep, while comfortless I wake and weep. Oh, if my wife may yet be found, with humble love I will wander round this Janastan, Prasravan's hill, Mandakini's delightful reel. See how the deer with gentle eyes look on my face and sympathize. I mark their soft expression, each would soothe me, if it could, with speech. A while the anxious throng he eyed, and "Where is Sita, where?" he cried. Thus while hot tears his utterance broke, the morning sun of Raghu spoke. The deer in pity for his woes obeyed the summons and arose. Upon his right they stood, and raised their sad eyes up to heaven and gazed. Each to that quarter bent her look, which Ravan with his captive took. Then Raghu's son again they viewed, and toward that point their way pursued. Then Lakshman watched their looks intent, as mourning on their way they went, and marked each sign which struck his sense with mute expressive influence. Then as again his sorrow woke, thus to his brother chief he spoke. Those dear thy eager question heard, and rose at once by pity stirred. See, in thy search, their aid they lend. See, to the south their looks they bend. Arise, dear brother, let us go the way their eager glances show. If haply sign or trace descried, our footsteps in the search may guide. The son of Raghu gave assent, and quickly to the south they went. With eager eyes the earth he scanned, and Lakshman followed close at hand. As each to other spake his thought, and round with anxious glances sought, scattered before them in the way, plumes of a fallen garland lay. When Rama saw that flowery rain, he spoke once more with bitterest pain. O Lakshman, every flower that lies here on the ground I recognize. I culled them in the grove, and there my darling twined them in her hair. The sun, the earth, the genial breeze have spared these flowers my soul to please. Then to the woody hill he prayed, whence flashed afar its wild cascade. O best of mountains, hast thou seen a dame of perfect form and mien, in some sweet spot with trees overgrown, my darling whom I left alone? Then, as a lion treats a deer, he thundered with a voice of fear, Reveal her, mountain, to my view, with golden limbs and golden hue. Where is my darling Sita? Speak, before I rend thee peak from peak. The mountain seemed her track to show, but told not all he sought to know. Then Dasarath's son renewed his summons as the mount he viewed. Soon as my flaming arrows fly, consumed to ashes shalt thou die, without a herb or bud or tree, and birds no more shall dwell in thee. And if this stream my prayer deny, my wrath this day her flood shall dry, because she lends no aid to trace my darling of the lotus face. Thus Rama spake as though his ire would scorch them with glance of fire. Then searching farther on the ground, the footprint of a fiend he found, and small light traces here and there, where Sita in her great despair, shrieking for Rama's help, had fled before the giant's mighty tread. His careful eye each trace surveyed, which Sita and the fiend had made, the quivers and the broken bow, and ruined chariot of the foe, and told, distraught by fear and grief, his tidings to his brother chief. O Lakshman, hear, he cried, behold, my Sita's earrings dropped with gold. Here lie her garlands torn and rent, here lies each glittering ornament. O look, the ground on every side with blood-like drops of gold is dyed. The fiends who wear each strange disguise have seized, I ween, the helpless prize. My lady, by their hands overpowered, is slaughtered, mangled, and devoured. Methinks two fearful giants came, and waged fierce battle for the dame. Whose Lakshman was this mighty bow, with pearls and gems in glittering row? Cast to the ground the fragments lie, and still their glory charms the eye. A bow so mighty, sure was planned for heavenly god or giant's hand. Whose was this coat of golden mail, which, though its lustre now is pale, shone like the sun of morning, bright with studs of glittering legulite? Whose Lakshman was this bloom-wreathed shade, with all its 100 wreaths displayed? This screen, most meet for royal brow, which broken stuff lies useless now. And these tall asses, goblin-faced, with plates of golden harness graced, whose hideous form sustained with gore, who is the lord whose yoke they bore? Whose was this pierced and broken car, that shoots a flame-like blaze afar? Whose these pant shafts at random spread, each fearful with its iron head? With golden mountings fair to see, long as a chariot's axle-tree. These quivers see, which, rent in twain, their sheaves of arrows still contain. Whose was this driver, dead and cold, his hands the whip and reins still hold. See, Lakshman, here the foot I trace of man, nay, one of giant race. The hatred that I nursed of old grows mightier now 100-fold. Against these giants, fierce of heart, who change their forms by magic art, slain, eaten by the giant press, or stolen is the votaress. Nor could a virtue bring defence to Sita seized and hurried hands. Oh, if my love be slain or lost, all hope of bliss for me is crossed. The power of all the worlds were vain to bring one joy to soothe my pain. The spirit, with their blinded eyes, would look in wonder and despise the Lord who made the worlds, the great Creator when compassionate. And so I ween the immortals turn cold eyes upon me now and spurn the weakling prompt at pity's call, devoted to the good of all. But from this day behold me changed, from every gentle grace estranged. Now be it mine all life to slay, and sweep these cursed fiends away. As the great sun lifts up the sky, and the cold moonbeams fade and die, so vengeance rises in my breast, one passion conquering all the rest. Gandharvas in their radiant place, the Yakshas and the giant race, Kinnars and man shall look in vain for joy they never shall see again. The anguish of my great despair, O Lakshman, fills the heaven and air, and I in wrath all life will slay within the triple world today. Unless the gods in heaven who dwell restore my Sita safe and well, I, armed with all the fires of fate, the triple world will devastate. The troubled stars from heaven shall fall, the moon be wrapped in gloomy pall, the fire be quenched, the wind be stilled, the radiant sun grow dark and chilled, crushed every mountain's towering pride, and every lake and river dried, dead every creeper, plant, and tree, and lost for aye the mighty sea. Thou shalt the world this day behold, in wild disorder uncontrolled, with dying life which naught defends from the fierce storm my bowstring sends. My shafts this day, for Sita's sake, the life of every fiend shall take. The gods this day shall see the force that wings my arrows on their course, and mark how far that course is held, by my unsparing wrath impelled. No god, not one of that dear strain, goblin or Rakshas shall remain. My wrath shall end the worlds and all, demons and gods therewith shall fall. Each world which gods, the dawn of race, and giants make their dwelling place, shall fall beneath my arrows sent, in fury when my bow is bent. The arrows loosened from my string, confusion on the worlds shall bring, for she is lost or breathes no more, nor will the gods my love restore. Hence all on earth, with life and breath, this day I dedicate to death. Ah, till my darling they reveal, the fury of my shafts shall feel. Thus as he spake, by rays impelled, red grew his eyes, his fierce lips swelled. His barcoat round his form he drew, and coiled his hermit braids anew, like Rudra when he yearned to slay the demon Tripur in the fray. So looked the hero, brave and wise, the fury flashing from his eyes. Then Rama, conqueror of the foe, from Lakshman's hand received his bow, strained a great string, and laid thereon a deadly dart that flashed and shone, and spake these words as fierce in ire as he who ends the worlds with fire. As age and time and death and fate all life with checkless power await, so Lakshman in my wrath today, my vengeful might shall brook no stay. Unless this day I see my dame, in whose sweet form is naught to blame, yea, as before, my love behold, fair with bright teeth and perfect mould. This world shall feel a deadly blow, destroyed with ruthless overthrow, and serpent lords and gods of air, Gandharva's man, the doom shall share. Canto 66, Lakshman's speech. He stood incensed, with eyes of flame, still mourning for his ravished dame, determined like the fire of fate to leave the wide world desolate. His ready bow the hero eyed, and as again he sighed, the triple world would fain consume, like Hara in the day of doom. Then Lakshman, moved with sorrow, viewed his brother in unwonted mood, and reverent palm to palm applied, thus spoke with lips which terror dried. Thy heart was ever soft and kind, to every creature's good inclined. Cast not thy tender mood away, nor yield to anger's mastering sway. The moon for gentle grace is known, the sun has splendour all his own, the restless wind is free and fast, and art in passions unsurpassed. So glory with her noble fruit is thine eternal attribute. O let not, for the sin of one, the triple world be all undone. I know not whose discord that lies in fragments here before our eyes, nor who the chiefs who met and fought, nor what the prize the foemen sought, who marked the ground with hoof and wheel, or whose the hand that plied the steel, which left the spot the battle over, thus sadly died with drops of gore. Searching with utmost care I view the signs of one and not of two. Wherever I turn mine eyes I trace no mighty host about the place. Then mete not out for one offence this all-involving recompense. For kings should use the sword they bear, but mild in time should learn to spare. Thou, ever moved by misery's call, wast the great hope and stay of all. Throughout this world, who would not blame this outrage on thy ravished dame? Gandharvas, Danavs, gods, the trees, the rocks, the rivers, and the seas, can never in aught thy soul offend, as one whom holiest rites befriend. But him who dared to steal the dame, pursue, O king, with ceaseless aim. With me the hermit's holy band, and thy great bow to arm thy hand. By every mighty flood we will seek each wood, each hill, from base to peak. To the fair homes of gods we will fly, and bright Gandharvas in the sky, until we reach wherever he be, then wretch who stole thy spouse from thee. Then if the gods will not restore thy Sita when the search is over, then, royal lord of Kaushal's land, no longer hold thy vengeful hand. If meekness, prayer, and right be weak to bring thee back the dame we seek, up, brother, with a deadly shower of gold-bright shafts thy foes overpower, fierce as the flashing levin sent from King Mahendra's firmament. End of Canto 64, 65, and 66.